that's a good looking cup.
And then can you make him explode?
Can you make me explode, Morgan?
I was gonna. Can you make him explode?
Okay.
I was actually thinking for a while. I was like, every time we do something like that, I think, well, is Morgan gonna hate me because I have to make him explode? And then what I did was, so instead of just doing this, I like waited even longer. So if you look, there's like this moment where I'm like looking at him and I'm thinking about, am I gonna act like you exploded?
Kind of what do you call it? Glitter on your nose.
A glitter. Glitter.
Yep. Keep working it.
Welcome to Good Mythical More.
It must have been in this.
Where we, it might have been, it could be a glass shard. Where we decompress about being glass blowers. That was, what a hot profession.
It's so hot.
What are you laughing at?
I just like Rhett's laugh was like a grandpa.
Now, I don't, yeah, it's one of those things that, you know how sometimes you make a video and it's really, really cold or really, really hot and you can't tell how hot it was?
It doesn't translate.
I don't know if it translates just how, like it's like standing next to the sun. But the sun's a lot hotter than 2,000 degrees though.
If you stood next to the sun, I don't think
you can't stand next to the sun.
You'd kind of
There's
disintegrate.
nothing to put your feet on.
Right. But that was fun. I mean,
I'm glad you appreciate it.
There's a point. There's a point. I don't know if you can like pick up on it when you're watching this thing, rewatch it to analyze it from this perspective. But there's a point where we kind of stopped worrying about you guys being along for the ride, and it was just about making this challenge, man. Like,
and I got so close to screwing it up too.
If you look at it, it's like, it's not.
It's beautiful.
A beginner made it.
It's
like,
beautiful.
Look at it, and you messed it up here, and they put the handle over it. But it's like it looks like it warped.
It was warped. I mean,
but we wanted to make it like
never got it quite.
The good mythical flame. We wanted
that's
to,
what makes it beautiful.
That's what makes it cool.
You know, I mean, if you were to go back into the olden days and a king was drinking out of a chalice, it would be like this. It would be a little bit off. He'd be like, yeah, it's off. I'm gonna sniff it. Yeah, let me drink my air. Bring in my air, squire.
Yes, I'm gonna display this proudly. Ooh, we need to shave that down. That could have really cut me.
I told you not to touch that. Oh, we gotta shave that down now. Yeah, it needs to be sanded. The bottom needs to be sanded.
Here's some glass that came off of it. I can see through it.
Learned quite a bit though about like how they put water in certain places, and I don't even know if we ended up showing all the process, but
no, we didn't.
We put water. Well, I know we didn't show all the process, but I don't know if we showed every step.
We did what they call edit. It was edited.
But you remember how this was like on something, and he puts just a little drop of water in there, and then he hits it, and the thing just pops off. Yeah. It's like I had no idea that happens.
But yeah, they were great sports and letting us like, you know, shatter a bunch of stuff on their, in their place of business was pretty cool.
We also made this marble. This is the first thing we made.
Like an eyeball.
I don't think this made the edit, but this was basically just they put the glass into that little tube, and then you just blow on the tube, and then this comes out the end.
Is it hollow? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, this is not hollow.
There's air in that?
This is solid.
Solid marble,
So it comes out as like a cylinder of glass, and then you take these tongs while it's still super duper hot.
You pinch it.
And you pinch it, and it just turns and turns and turns, and then it gets down to this, where it's pinched down to the right here, and then he just puts a drop of water in there, and then he's like, just hit the back of the hammer.
He hit it with a chisel.
You hit it. You hit the back of it with something else, and it just pops right off.
Now, if I swallowed this, what would happen? Like
you could get it down.
This is about as big as something that I could swallow.
Yeah, there would be a few moments of like
totally
uneasiness.
Yeah, like from like here to here.
In fact, it would be super uncomfortable. Like sometimes you swallow like a big pill, like a big vitamin, and it gets hung up right there.
Oh gosh,
it could be there for 30 minutes sometimes. That would be there for a while.
And then once it got down in there, they would have to incisionate in order to get it out.
No, they wouldn't. That would make its way out.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah,
it would.
It wouldn't go through the.
And Dookie's bigger than that.
It wouldn't go through the sphincter at the. Yes, Rhett. It would. It wouldn't go through the sphincter on the other end of the,
Somehow
of
it
the
always
stomach.
comes back to that.
The other end of the stomach. It couldn't exit the stomach.
Yes, it could. I'm almost
it could.
I'm almost positive that would come out.
So when we
Only
were
one way to find out.
So I can't remember if we've ever told this story, but this experience definitely reminded us of when I would go over to Rhett's house as a kid, and there was a barn across the street that was owned by Campbell University, and they used it as storage for stuff.
Still there.
But it was an old farm barn that it needed to be repainted.
A farm barn.
Farm barn, and so they.
Can I hold it?
It wasn't locked up. It was one that you could drive a tractor into the middle of it, but then there was like a hay bale storage area up top, but they had just put a bunch of crap in there, including a whole bunch of glass, like panes of glass, sheets of glass, all types of stuff.
It was for all kinds of different things that happen at Campbell University, like
backup windows and stuff,
well, not
like
just
replacement
that,
windows.
It was also things like if they had an event at Campbell and they made a bunch of stuff for that event, they would like put it back into the barn.
Somebody would shove it over there.
There was just all kinds of stuff in there.
And we would go in there and we would just take rocks and just throw rocks and break the glass. And it was we knew it was wrong and you shouldn't be doing it, but once you break one pane of glass in a clandestine operation.
Inside a farm barn?
It's like it's like you have to intervene. There has to be an intervention for it to stop. I mean, it's like, you're addicted to it, and we probably destroyed every square inch of glass.
But we also,
over time.
But I wouldn't have like gone up to like somebody's house and busted a window, because it felt like busting a window in an old car that was in a junkyard. You're like, this is to be busted,
right?
But then like later as we became adults, we realized that I think they were like using that for something. Like they were probably kept coming back in there and being like, those boys keep breaking this glass. I hit my marble on the table for emphasis.
How much money would I have to pay to swallow it? I mean, I just wouldn't do it. No amount of money.
I wouldn't do it for anything because I could die.
Well, yeah, what would happen? What happens if you swallow something that's that big?
I'm sure somebody's done it.
I'm just gonna Google what happens if you swallow a big marble. What happens if you eat mold, don't eat, lose your permit? What happens if you swallow a big piece of gum? That's a good question, but I'm going for marble. Swallow a big marble. Swallowed are objects.
Turn out your brightness a little bit there.
DD swallowed a marble. Wait or call Doc. Mothering forums. That's a small marble. I'm talking like a big marble.
Yeah,
like
the big
I need to be going on like a glass blower forum, man, because they've all swallowed that thing. Right?
Now, but a marble's gonna come out.
Just ate a glass marble. ER or bathroom.
Okay, let's see how big it was.
1 centimeter in diameter.
That is smaller than this. That's a normal size marble.
She's fine, but obviously this little glass sphere isn't going to biodegrade. We didn't bury it in your body. Will it pass like normal? It should be over here. Look, dude, this thing hasn't moved.
Well, I haven't had to deal with 2 mugs. It's a 2 mug issue, man.
I'll even put it right on the edge of the table.
Gosh,
and it'll
that's
be fine.
the dumbest thing you've ever done.
I'll put it right here in front of it.
Okay, so what was she saying about the non-biodegradable marble?
They're saying that was fine. So let's go to
It most likely will go right through. You don't know, you're not a doctor, but it most likely will go right through. I think the rule of thumb is anything you can get down comes out. Doesn't that sound like a good rule? Anything you can swallow will make its way out. Unless it's like those 2 magnets. I mean, you can swallow those 2 magnets. You know, like the little magnet balls.
Some objects
and kids will swallow them at different times, and then they get in the intestines, and they can it's horrible.
Oh, on different parts of the intestine?
And then they get stuck, and that's it. And there's emergency surgery. I think some kids have died doing that.
Ooh.
But this would come out.
Some small objects will pass through a child's body without causing harm, but some may get stuck, while others can cause damage to the wall of the gut or pierce the gut.
Yeah, let me remind you though, I'm not a doctor. Don't swallow things like this. Looks like an acorn though. Don't swallow acorns either, they're poisonous. Did you know that? Acorns, a lot of acorns are poisonous, unless you boil them.
I'm not following a good thread here.
Well, you also can't really play marbles with this marble, look.
My 5-year-old grandson swallowed a marble last week.
Oh,
last week.
With Granddad.
And he was taken to the emergency room when the doctors told my daughter to wait until he poops it out by himself. Well, he has not done it.
Oh gosh.
He might have the marble removed by surgery. I don't want that at all. Any suggestions?
Milk of magnesia, marble edition.
I usually get them to eat a dry bagel.
It goes right around the marble.
And then pulls it out.
No.
Swallow a bagel.
You don't want to eat a donut or a bagel because it wraps right around it. You want to eat an eclair and it pushes it pushes.
Swallow an eclair.
That's my, if I was a doctor, that's what I'd be saying.
You'd be messing with people.
Be like, you need to eat an eclair, it'll push it right out. Don't chew the eclair though. The eclair has to go down whole.
I think it's possible that he's already passed it and no one even
Yeah, what have you
knew.
been doing? Putting his poop through a sieve?
If this is not surely, if this is surely not the case, try applesauce, prune juice, or an eclair.
Everybody.
A bagel is number 1, and then prune juice.
It's just people commenting like,
A bagel is like
my kids
is a
have
fake
swallowed
out.
marbles. It passes in their stool. I usually have them eat a dry bagel, and somehow it pushes it out. One mom found this helpful.
Yeah. Those bagels, man.
Are you absolutely sure it was only one marble? There's an awful episode of Grey's Anatomy based on a true story. If kids swallow more than one of the magnetized metal magnets, they can do enormous internal damage trying to get at each other.
I've watched TV.
You watch Grey's Anatomy?
You know what?
McDreamy.
Shepard just bought.
Was killed.
Well, he didn't buy it. He doesn't have any money. Shepard.
I have no clue. I just made that up.
Shepard just bought the magnetized marbles, but they're this big or bigger. They're crazy. He has 8 of them, and it's just like it's amazing how strong they are. They're bigger than this. They're not even a choking hazard. They're so big.
Our son swallowed a quarter, and it took 6 weeks to come out. Not to worry. These things sometimes take time.
I swallowed 8 pennies when I was a kid.
8 pennies
8 pennies.
at once?
8 cents.
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh, you know what? You literally 8 cents.
I was like 5 or 6.
So when you jumped up and down, did it sound like a change purse?
Like one after another, or just all at the same time?
I think it was one after another.
Yeah, it took you.
You made 8 choices.
Did people like buy tickets first?
You could have swallowed a dime and you would have gotten there a lot faster, Eddie.
Did you get what happened?
They came out.
Did you think you were a piggy bank?
Did it hurt?
No, it was fine.
Really? Weird.
Yeah, pennies are fine.
We're all quiet. I was soaking that one in.
Can swallowing chewing gum really clog up your gut?
No, we know the answer to that.
We've answered a lot of important questions today.